Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. Today we're going to talk about a serious warning to Americans that are driving up to Alaska this summer. This is summer 2020. Summer has officially started and people are heading to Alaska, but there are some serious concerns that could hit you financially. Gotta warn you about it because my channel is about saving you legal hassles and some money. While we're at it, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but first I want to bitch about why I hate summer camping, and then we're going to get to the Alaska part of the video. Now, when I say camping in the summer sucks, I mean it. But I want to clarify, I'm not against camping. Camping's fun. Camping's great. Everybody should camp. In fact, when I meet city slickers from New York City that say they've never camped, I'm always bewildered by these individuals. So, what is the problem with summer camping? I'll tell you. The problem with summer camping is too many people and all the associated problems that come with that. We got campgrounds up here in Canada that hold hundreds and hundreds of people. Some of the campgrounds have more people than some of our small towns. That's how many people go camping. And when you have a campground with 500 to 1,000 people in it, you have all the associated sounds and problems. For example, all the screaming little backbiters running around, yay, woo, fun, woo. It's nasty. It really takes away from the ambiance. I'm not against kids. Hey, I was camping as a kid too, but my parents slapped me if I made too many sounds. Add to the constant hum and roar of generators or air conditioners and music. Hey, I love Van Halen. You might like Van Halen, but do I want to listen to your Van Halen when I don't want to hear Van Halen? No. And getting your particular spot that you want in the summertime, very difficult. There are a lot of beautiful, beautiful places to go camping in Canada in the summer, of course, but summer is the wrong time. You gotta go in spring, you gotta go in fall. Too many people, especially Americans, they have this idea that, oh, Canada camping in September and October is cold. No, done many videos on this where I've shown it's 20 Celsius or in the low 70s, many times even in October during the day. And guess what? Crowds are thin. You can actually hear the birds. You might even see more wildlife because they're not scared away by the hordes of people. So, pro camping, negative summer camping. Nah, it's all about timing, folks. Everything in life is about timing. Now, some of you may like the screaming, the yelling, and the partying all the time. Hey, good for you. Find a campground that loves the partiers, and you can join them in your little festivus occasion. But for the rest of us, not so much. I'm honestly saying that, camping is important, provides jobs even. It's a wonderful recreational activity with really low environmental impact, I think. Even the left-wing granola crunchers seem to love camping. Yes, they do. And of course, they're going to tell you that they do it with more morality than you do because their carbon imprint is lower than yours. But seriously, folks, the time to camp is spring and fall in Canada. You get a little bit of it in if you can find a nice quiet spot somewhere in Canada, but good luck. Even the remote locations have a lot of people. Trust me, I've gone to some of my secret locations that require 60, 70 kilometer dirt road rides down rough roads. And as soon as you get there, it's like there's a city in the wilderness. It's just ridiculous what people will do to get away from it. And speaking about getting away from it, so many campers that I've talked to in my life, they say, oh, it's so good to be out here camping and getting away from it. Getting away from it. And I always ask them, I go, you live somewhere in a city? And they go, yeah. How many people, I always ask, live on your street? And they go, maybe 40 people live on my street. And then I say, well, why did you go camping to be with 700 people and you got less people where you actually live. See, you ain't really getting away from anything now, are you? And that, my friends, is the paradox of summer camping. And the same is true in the United States, because let's face it, your camping season is short because the people that go camping in the winter tend to go to the southern states. You know, not much winter camping going on in the Dakotas or Minnesota. I'm sure there are a few people that do that, and good for you. I salute you. If you can do Minnesota camping in the dead of winter, you are truly an intrepid camper that can understand the advice I'm giving. But it still defies me why so many people like to be in large hordes camping in summer. It just defies the imagination why people like that. Now, I know some people do just love crowds. They love it. They're the people that go to Times Square on, you know, New Year's Eve, and they want to be with a million of their closest friends. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that if that is your cup of tea. But for the rest of us, really? Now, as some of you may be aware, the Canadian-American border is closed to non-discretionary travel, that means tourism, in both directions, except for citizens returning home or, you know, essential services like truckers, people moving cargo, flight crews, things like that. But we have this scenario that is happening right now where Americans are going up to Alaska. So they say. Some are, of course. I want to be very fair about this. So they show up at the border and they say, yeah, I'm going to Alaska, going home, for example. Okay, great. Or I got a summer job up in Alaska. Great. That is a legitimate reason to go back to Alaska, and the Canadian Border Services will allow you to cross if you can prove such a claim. But this is what's happening. Some folks have decided that, hey, they figured out the rules, they figured out how the loophole works, and they say, yeah, I got a job up in Juneau, got to get my RV up to Skagway and take the ferry down to Juneau, whatever. They're going to Fairbanks, they're going to Anchorage, or Los Anchorage, as I like to call it. You know, if you spent time in Anchorage, it's not the Alaska that you think exists. But that's a sidebar. Nothing bad about Anchorage. It's a beautiful city. And I've been there several times. Nice city, but it's more of an urban place. You know, real Alaska is kind of outside the city limits of Anchorage. But I digress. Some of these American folks, especially RVers, they're showing up at the Canadian border saying, hey, I got to go to Alaska, you know, please let me in. And they let them in. But the conditions of travel to Alaska through Canada is you do it in a straight line and you just get there. Only essential stops for fuel and food, and get the heck out of Dodge because we've flattened the curve, so your risk of COVID-related problems here in Western Canada is so low that you really don't need to worry about that here. So this is what's happening. Some, I only say some, we can't blanket this accusation with everyone because I know it's absolutely not true, but some people are deciding to take side trips through our beautiful national parks at Banff, Jasper, several other places. And guess what? They're getting fined. Yeah, some of them are getting hefty fines up to like $1,200 because they are not abiding by the rules. And it's pretty easy to get caught because you got a license plate on the back of your RV that says you're from Oregon or California, Nevada, Arizona, wherever you're from. And that's a dead giveaway. So authorities can pull you over, check, and if you are having a great time in one of our beautiful national parks, which I don't blame you for doing, I just blame you for not abiding by the rules because, you know, they could have really been jerks and said nobody's going to Alaska. If you want to go there, take the the Alaska State Ferry. Very expensive. Put an RV on there. I did a video on that a few years ago. Very, very, very expensive. Or you can fly. Yeah, that's not really an option for a lot of people. I get it. So, you know, people got to move, people got things to do, and people want to participate in whatever economic opportunities are available in Alaska during the summer. Nothing wrong with that. But don't be one of those people that gets caught hanging around in a park somewhere where you're not doing a straight line run and you're having a good time just being a tourist. Now, we do appreciate you spending your money here in Alberta or in British Columbia, but hey, the rules are there for a reason. And the last thing I want you to be doing is writing a check to the province of British Columbia or Alberta or the federal government because you got caught in one of these little stings, because there are very few people with foreign license plates driving around right now. In fact, in the last 3 months, I've seen one Washington State license plate, which is weird because this time of year, I honestly see license plates from Switzerland, France, Germany, and all over the US here in Canada, because the RVers come. The rich Europeans even ship their RVs from Europe. So it's very common to see RVs from all over the world here in spring and summer, and this year, ooh, very few foreign license plates. So don't stick out like a sore thumb. Don't get caught in a situation where you're going to get cited and you're going to have to pay a fine. Not a fun experience for anybody. So just get her done. Drive that Alaska Highway, or as you Americans like to call it, the Alcan Highway, and get up there, do your stuff, have your fun up there. Come on back in the fall to wherever you live. And just be careful out there. Drive during the day. Hey, one of the best road trips in an RV I've ever done is when I delivered a brand new RV, truck and camper to Whitehorse from Vancouver in May. And as I mentioned about spring travel and spring RV season, is way better. Driving the Alaska Highway in May, the whole forest has come alive. I've had caribou, I mean, as you might call them, reindeer, literally running 5 feet away from my RV where I could almost reach out of my window and touch them. I've seen lots of big game. Summer, of course, there's still lots of big game, but spring I just find a better season for viewing wildlife. But that's just me. Hey, and the travel on the road is even less in spring. So what do you guys think about those people that are violating the travel restrictions to travel to Alaska? And what do you think about summer RVing? Do you really love crowds? Do you love the traffic? If you love all that stuff, you put your comments down below. If you don't, you also know what to do. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels to ground. I'll talk to you soon. Over and out.